Greetings, Earthlings! I'm calling you through Patreon from Skype in central Tokyo. Boy, sometimes it's really hard to get online. Sometimes it's hard to connect all these things, then share the link onto Patreon. So I'm sorry for starting a little bit late. I also keep forgetting the password to the Skype, so it's hard to it's hard to link everything together. It just takes about 20 minutes each time. So before we start this live stream, we have about 6-7 people watching already. Hello from the UK. Hey, it's Kane. How are you? So we're gonna start this first by answering some of the questions people left who can't join us. Hey Amanda, how are you? I can see everybody chatting in right now. It's cool. Hello, Tom N541. I see you right there. Thanks for tuning in. We have 9 people. Hello from San Francisco, Brian. Hey, welcome to Tokyo. We're here. This is my balcony, my veranda, and I thought I would live stream because I haven't been in Tokyo for a while. It's kind of nice to be back home. It is actually pretty hot, Amanda. It is pretty hot for November. We've had a couple of really beautiful days. The big news in the city, it has nothing to do with me being back in the city, actually. It has to do with Donald Trump. President Trump is visiting Tokyo. He's visiting Japan for the first time. This is a guy who he didn't know where Japan was. He kept confusing it with China, and a lot of people in Japan weren't happy about that during the election. He always confused China and Japan, which, you know, I can understand. Hey, Linda. But like any foreign leader, we're really happy to have the president visiting here in Tokyo. It's just going to be a lot of security around the city today. Okay, so before I start and open it up to Skype, hey, I see Jim's on. Before I open it up to Skype calls, I'm going to take some of the questions to people on Patreon who couldn't make it to this today. First off, the news that I have is that we started the postcard club. It's been a big success. I started it off for last month. The postcards coming out, there were only 30 places because I don't have time to write out more than 30. I would have loved to do it, but once November 1st hit, I opened it up to 50 people. And if that goes well, then I'm going to open it up to 100 people. And the more I can kind of share with people who are very interested with the show, like a piece of the show, I think the more fun it's going to be for all of us. Okay. Questions from the live stream. There are 12. Wow. I'm going to go down the list and try to do it really quickly, then I can start taking the Skype calls. So bear with me. This is from Santoshi. I'm going to read them all. John, how was life before you started the YouTube channel? Oh my gosh. I think we have to limit it to just one question, because it's just like, this is like I'm like, you know, the politicians, they have one question in 10 parts they have to answer. How was life before you started the YouTube channel? Do you miss anything you liked before, which you simply can't do these days because of your increased commitment with travel, location shoots, Kickstarter, Patreon? Yeah. Also, it would be great if you could answer my question from the last Q&A. Santoshi, if I missed your last question from, you probably should write it in. I don't know how I can find it. But I'll try to get to that. Sorry, I think I might have caught a cold when I was in Totori, but actually I'm feeling good, so my voice is somewhat raspy this morning. Better that you're on the other side of this camera, huh? Instead of right here. So how was life before you started the YouTube channel? I've been doing something similar to YouTube for over 15 years now. I was YouTubing before YouTube. I did inbound videos in Japan since wow. I came to Japan in 1998. I was making videos since about 2003. That was my first hitchhiking video, and I was making inbound videos. That's 3 years before YouTube started. So life before YouTube was sort of the same, but I didn't have as much stress to create content. I did it because I sort of wanted to. Sometimes I feel now that I do it because I have to make sure I get content up there. But the Only in Japan Go channel has sort of changed all that. It's made it more fun again. making YouTube fun again, because I can just click a button, I can just stream anything that I want, and it's really fun like that. Do you miss anything you liked before which you simply can't do these days? The thing with YouTube is that there is pressure for the main channel to produce content that will not go viral, but that at least the subscribers want to watch. The last video I did, which I thought was really interesting, Obama City Explained. It's a weird city that became somewhat political 6-8 years ago, and I released it on YouTube and it just sort of died. I don't think people got the notifications or what, but it's not in any recommended searches. So I think that there's pressure for me to produce big hits on the main channel, to find topics that really people care about in a big way. And it's hard to do every single time, twice a month. I don't think I would be able to keep up more than that. But there is pressure to do that. So that's sort of different. And Santoshi, I'm sorry I didn't answer your other question before, but if you let me know what that is through chat or something, I'll be able to answer it. Thomas J. O'Brien. Hey, John. In the States, there are a lot of social issues being discussed on the news these days, including gun control, sports teams protesting the flag. Well, I'm not asking for your opinion on anything. Good. What are some social issues that are discussed most in Japan? FYI, 11.5 is the end of daylight savings time. Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. So I'm glad for that note. Daylight saving times, we don't have that in Japan. It's a sort of a massive pain in the neck. I think that the U.S. should probably end it because nobody around the world does daylight savings times for any apparent reason. We sort of protect these laws in the U.S. that we built 150 years ago that don't make any sense, like the metric system. The U.S. should probably be on the metric system. The reason why is because of the screw industry didn't want to change the screws 100 and some years ago to the metric system because it would have cost them a lot of money. That's the only reason we don't use the metric system, because of lobbyists. Anyways, I'm not going to discuss my political feelings on the issues in the U.S. The biggest issues here right now are women's issues, I would say. We had two politicians. We just had an election in Japan, and the Prime Minister Abe was up against a new party created by Koike-san. Koike-san, Miss Koike, is the mayor of Tokyo, or the governor of Tokyo, and her party lost because she didn't build enough trust in Japan. People like her, but her party is still too new to trust, even though they don't like Abe's party, the Prime Minister Abe's party. So that's been a big issue, and priority for women has been a big issue here in Japan, trying to get more women into positions of power. And it's not that a part of it is that the Japanese women don't want to be in that. A lot of women, when you ask them what's your dream, their dream is to start a family and to do things the old way, the way that their mothers and fathers did. That's sort of the reality. But gradually it's starting to change, and I would love to see more women in power because we need more diversity in Japan. That's a big issue. The other ones are, social issues. Off the top of my head, let me get back to you on that. I might think of something, but right now women's issues are quite big. Same, and it's always going to be the economy. Since the bubble era in the 1980s, the economy has been in deflation mode. And that's a big deal, as well as healthcare, the elderly. There's too many old people, not enough young people to pay for the old people. That's always going to be an issue here. How do we deal with it? Immigration as well is an issue. Jonathan Tan, how different has it been before and after Patreon? Wow. Patreon is, what's the biggest change? Patreon has allowed me to stay out longer. Patreon's allowed me to take on bigger subjects like Aogashima and Totori. I wouldn't have been able to do Totori without Patreon. It gives me more independence, I think. It gives me a chance to not just focus on YouTube and to take on topics that are not just trying to get money, you know? Like, trying to make a viral hit is really hard. And if you don't have it, you don't make a lot of money on YouTube. I'm being honest. A video that has 100,000 views is not enough. And I only do it twice a month. It's not enough to create income for a living. Patreon and the Only in Japan Go channel, I'm going to be honest with you, those two are the reason why I can make a living out of YouTube. I cannot produce enough content on the main channel to create a living doing this. So, Linda, did your chat froze? I haven't seen any chats in a while. I apologize. Let me know if there's any problems with the chat. Is it normal? Okay, thanks, Linda. So Patreon is a game changer. It's a big game changer. Doing stuff like the postcard club and giving gifts to the daimyo, to the, I think there's 5 people who are contributing $100. That's really important, because without this kind of support, and I want to bring in more people in the Patreon. We have about 215 or 7, I think 217 patrons now, but I'd like to get that into like 1,000 and try to get, not just to get, you know, income, which does help, but to get more people into the community and involved. I don't want any more than that, because I still like this closeness. I like a small, tight community that we have. I like the fact that we have always the same people in the chats. I like the fact that I get to know you, and maybe that's one good thing of being in one of the first people on Patreon supporting the channel, is because I do get to know all of you. Like when Linda chimes in right there, I know Linda because we've talked on the phone before. So that's really cool. So Patreon's been a big game changer, Jonathan. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. I can't say it enough. I look at Patreon more and more now. In the first few months, I didn't take Patreon. I didn't know what to expect from Patreon, and now I'm getting used to making that more part of my life. And I think as next year hits, we're gonna see more and more shift to my time going to Patreon. It's just, I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? That's where your community lies, I think. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm here for you. More and more, I'm putting my time into making this better, bigger. Photo Luke Hawaii, Luke and Cheryl, thank you. John, thank you so much for what you're doing. My wife and I love to watch your shows, but we'll even check out a John episode for Tokyo Eye 2020. Cool. If we still haven't gotten enough from you. I might be on another one soon. Anyways, I don't see any episodes of the Obon Festival or Bon O Dance. You will next year, for sure. We're both Bon Dance in Hawaii. Bon lasts 3 months here. We were just there in Fukushima this past July to perform Hawaii-style Bon Dance. Did you do that in Iwaki? Because that's where I'm going next week. They have a big, Hawaiian culture there. By the way, your Awadori video is awesome. Yes, that video did not get enough love by the internet. That Awadori video that Tokushima invited me down there for a tour, and that was cool. But I want to go back down there in my private time and just really get involved in that, because it's fun to make the videos, but you don't really get... that's why I like spending more time in the area, because then you get involved in it. But if I go down there just to film something, I don't really get deep enough to make it interesting for me. And maybe that shows in the videos. So it would be awesome if you did an Obon video. I will. Thank you so much. Don't forget to get Mama Dora in Fukushima. Thank you. I will. That's awesome. Eric Holleran, what is your next big trip plan? Fukushima, and that's coming up next week. I'm going to Malaysia on the 11th to the 14th to MC the Asian Spelling Cup. And I'll try to live stream this on the Only Japan Go channel, because it's pretty cool, because you have all these young kids from all around Asia. It's really cool that I got this chance to MC this huge event. So I'm gonna be there for just 2 nights, and I'm gonna try to meet up with some Malaysian fans of the show, which I should probably announce right now, soon. Have you thought of doing a Japanese? This is Amanda's question. Amanda's here, I think. Have you thought of doing a Japanese folklore mythology episode? I did. I just got a book called the Kojiki. Here, let me get this for you. Alright. You still there? I got this book called the Kojiki. Now, the Kojiki it's based on the area of Totori that I went to. And I don't know, this would take a lot of work, Amanda, but I think it's really good to do. I think it's something that other YouTubers wouldn't even touch. So, I think next year, around June, I'm going back to Totori to take part in the Torch Festival that they do every year. I did it for NHK this year, and I did it for another TV station last year, and I did it 3 years ago for the Sunrise Izumo, the train episode, but I didn't really focus on it. Next year, I plan to, and if I get a chance, I'm going to do some Japanese mythology. The question is, where was Japan born? There's mythology on how Japan was born, and there's debate on that. So this is a really good question and something that I would like to tackle. Thank you. Joanne? I hold it up just as, I don't know why I do that actually. Greatly enjoyed the live streams from Dyson. Awesome. You said in one of them that it is a region experiencing population growth by younger people. That's true. Is this simply due to the natural beauty resources of the area, or the local government incentive schemes in place to attract them? Well, that's a really long question. I mean, a long answer to that question. Geez. I think the people, there's a few reasons why. How do you get rid of this thing? Something on the calendar popped up. Okay. Sometimes the iPhone does not work well. The pop-ups don't go away. So, okay. This area of Totori is very rural. It's got a big city. Yonago is a big city, but it's also rural. It's lots of farms. I think you get that feeling when I was there, right? So farmers, they still have more than 2 kids. They do, and that is one reason why there's some population growth. Another one is that the population from the north that was affected by Fukushima and the radiation and all the problems and the earthquake and the rebuilding and the tsunami and all the other stuff, some of them relocated to this area, and so that brought the population up. This is what I heard. It's I don't know if it's fact or not. This is just what I was told by people in the area when I asked about this. The other one is that people can have bigger houses down there. One of the reasons why I think Tokyo population is dropping is because the houses are getting more expensive and smaller, and it's more expensive and more expensive. So that means families are just having less kids because, to be honest with you, there's not that much space. Out there, you can get a house for maybe 1/4 the price of an apartment in Tokyo. A house with land. So yeah, you're gonna have bigger families out there, and population's gonna grow, and the economy is growing over there because it is sort of a portal from China. The tourists coming to Japan, 80% of them come from China. This is a reality. Japan has a lot of tourists, but they're all coming from China. And Yonago, this area, is on the Sea of Japan, meaning tour boats are coming into this area. So they're doing well financially, and I think those sectors have created new jobs, which have brought people to that area. Very cool. Let's see here. I'll be calling in with one question if there's time. Okay, Linda, gotcha. Clifford, John, you said you're going to get a Japanese driver's license. I went yesterday to the Japanese driving school to practice driving. Things that are different. I'm going to do this in an Only in Japan Go chat, but I want to answer your question a little bit. Things that are different. I'm not going to a driving school to learn. I'm going to a driving school to practice the driving exam. Driving school costs about $3,000 to $4,000. It's quite expensive, and it requires a lot of time. I'm just practicing so I don't fail the test. The Japanese driving test is about knowing the course. It has nothing to do with how well you drive. You can drive the course in what you think is perfectly with no accidents, looking left and right, but you probably did not check the rear view window mirror the way that the Japanese do. You probably weren't, you're driving in the center of road and not on the left, which is the way that the Japanese drive, and then you failed. So it's about knowing the way that the Japanese drive, and then you can just, go back to driving safe, but you have to know the course. The first 2 hours the first hour was rough, and the second hour I saw some big improvements, and then I have 2 more hours of practice tomorrow, then the test the day after tomorrow. So I will update you. This is an Only in Japan Go episode. Jason, wow, there's a lot. 3 more questions. Bear with me. I love the way that this is from Jason. I love the way that you incorporated doing Only in Japan episodes with the live streaming. I really enjoy them both. Thank you. Do you see yourself at some point covering any Japanese artists? Yes. Down the street from me is a one of the country's most famous bonsai artists who makes cuts trees. I'd love to do more Japanese artists. Woodblock prints is another thing I'd like to cover. Wow, there's so much calligraphy as well. So this was something that will come up. I don't know if it's going to be only in Japan or only in Japan Go, but you're going to see more art. The thing with the Only in Japan Go channel is I have the freedom to make as much content as I want without editing it, and that means I have to use my wits to make it interesting, but I could bring you more content. And I think that's the game of YouTube. That's what YouTube, the platform, wants. It wants constant stream of content. I can't do that with the main channel because it's just too heavily edited, and I'm the only one doing it. So I think you're gonna see a lot more art in the next year. So that's thanks for bringing that up. Let's see here. Two more, Stephanie. I think Stephanie's watching right now. How does one go about renting a car there? You need an international driver's license, but if you've lived in Japan for over a year and you're a resident, you need to get a Japanese driver's license. That's why I've been here for a long time. I need to have a Japanese driver's license. So, yeah, Linda saw the photo on the Instagram, I think. I would like to see bad English t-shirt translations with Peter on the Code channel. We might do that too. That's a great thing. I gotta find a place that sells those. I like that. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna meet him later on this week. Let's see here. Stephanie had some more. Do people normally park their cars? Japanese back in. Americans go in head first. Japanese always back in. That's kind of a big difference. What doesn't look like there's much available parking? Not so much, but there's parking garages. That is also another theme for Japan main channel, I think. Do you drive a car? Not yet. Is there a bus service there as well as just trains? There is, but the bus service is hard for tourists. It's not a lot as in English, but that's changing. Buses, anywhere in the world, a bus is hard to predict because it depends on the traffic and they're always late and you don't know where exactly they go or which stop to get off on. Maps are hard to find. Thanks for all you do and have a wonderful day. Thank you. The best, most useful bus in Tokyo is between Shibuya and Roppongi. There's no train line connecting those two big areas, but there's a bus. That's the only bus I think that tourists would really need in order to get around the city. The Shibuya Roppongi bus. And I might cover that in Only Japan Go. Blanco Spencer Sanchez. Okay, Vincent. John, where is the best place to see a capybara in Tokyo? I don't know. I know that they're cute, but I don't know. I would have to say Ueno Zoo. Ueno Zoo is cheap to get in. It's really what is it, like 500 yen, I think? $5. It's in the center of the city. It's one of the main stations on the Yamanote line. It's 10 minutes from Shinjuku, maybe 10-15 minutes from Shinjuku. On the Asakusa line from Shibuya, it's about a little bit over 30 minutes. So Ueno Zoo, definitely, if you want to see animals and the pandas, you can go to Ueno Zoo. Cool. That would be the best place in Tokyo. So now I'm going to open it up to Skype. I have a feeling we might be hearing from Jim. I like it when Jim calls in, because he's always leaving a super chat, which makes me happy, and then I only get to see him when he calls in on the Skype chat. So if you want, you can call in on Skype right now, and I will take your call. I'm not gonna keep these too long because I had some people ask me if I could keep the Skype call shorter, but I'm happy to hear from you. Now, I think I'm online with the Only in Japan Skype. This is for supporters who are at the samurai level. It's because I have to stagger the rewards for patrons. My Skype doesn't allow you to have usernames. Oh, here we go. Linda's first. Linda? Oh. Hold on a second, the speaker's off.
Here.
Okay, we got speaker on.
Wait.
I'm gonna put the phone up towards the microphone.
Okay. Well, I just have earbuds on.
Okay.
So, as a creator, when was your breakthrough moment that you realized you had achieved a milestone that was unique, you know, with only Japan and only in Japan Go? That's my question.
Okay. Like, when did I know that I reached a level that it was... Can you say that again? When? I think I understood it, but I want to...
Oh, okay. When was your breakthrough moment that you realized you had achieved a milestone?
Ah. Wow. That's...
You want me to elaborate there?
Elaborate more. A milestone, I guess the milestone is like markers in your career, your life that you consider big points. I guess the first milestone was the vending machine video. That was the third video I made, and that sort of went viral. In 2013, the audience for YouTube was not huge, and that one hit 1,000. I didn't have that many subscribers, but it hit 150,000 views really fast. No one had done a really good vending machine video at the time. I think it was one of the first people to do like a really thorough vending machine video, and that one just, and from that it made the channel. That was the first milestone. I'm like, whoa, I could do this. So I started picking topics that people hadn't done before. This is the first couple of years, and then people started to pick up that I was having some success with this, and they started doing the same stuff. and now when people started copying the stuff I was doing, that's when I sort of knew that it was a big deal. The second milestone was when we hit 100,000. Well, and the toilet episode also went viral really fast. The amazing toilet, that was the 5th or 6th episode. And then when we hit 100,000 subscribers, which was pretty quick, I thought, I was pretty happy because I didn't expect that. I would ever have more than a couple thousand subscribers. I didn't think that it was possible to make a living on YouTube, but I guess this was 2014 when I hit 100. Was it 2014? I hit 100,000 subscribers. I said, wow, I could do this thing for real. And then 250, then 500. I guess the subscriber mark is a milestone, but for me, it's the amount of content that I can create, I think. The 100th episode was sort of a big deal as well. Yeah. I don't know. I think also Patreon was a milestone, because without that, I don't think I'd be able to have continued doing this, to be honest with you. I might have had to get another job, because I left the job that I was doing before when I started YouTube. So did that answer your question?
Yes, it sure did.
Milestone. It's hard to talk about yourself and look inward into what you've created, I guess. Yeah. Are you?
Is that a cat or?
I don't know. I'm outside in front of the station here, so you never know what's down there. There's a lot of stray cats here. Yeah, in Tokyo. Are you in Las Vegas, right?
I'm in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas, baby. That's awesome. All right. Well,
anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Linda.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Wow, that's a deep question. I mean, it's not. It sounds like something that would be easy to answer, but for me to look back in at what we've put up on the channel, I mean, that's, yeah, man, we've done a lot. Okay, so anybody else who wants to call in, just call on in. I'll be doing this for another few minutes. See here. Jonathan's going to bed. All right, Uncle Elias. Elias, thank you. Good night. I'm out. Kane's out. Thank you, Kane. Sounded like a kid. Oh, here's Jim. Usually Jim calls in with video. Is this? Yeah, here he is. Let me put this. Make sure the speaker's on. All right, we've got speaker. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, John. I can't see you, but I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. Well, I'm doing great. How's your day been today?
Busy. I got so many things to do. This is my break. I don't know if you can see me with the backlighting, but this is my break right now. Just sort of getting a chance to get some air, and then I'm going back into editing for the rest of the day.
Okay, sounds like a really busy day then.
Yeah, I don't know. With the president in, I might go downtown just to see what the security's like and make a Only in Japan Go episode on the security surrounding the president's visit. Might be sort of fun to do.
That'd be kind of cool if you could make that, but you have lots of stuff you need to do otherwise, so
yes.
Do what you can.
Yeah, don't try to do too much, but do what you can. That's been the motto of this year. Do what you can. Just keep going forward.
Yeah, you've been doing very, very well so far. I really liked your videos in Totori when you were there. Those were great.
Oh, the Totori videos, they were fun. I liked getting outside of Tokyo and then being able to make a lot of content in one area was really fun for me too. So I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought so too, because I'm kind of used to your live streams being in the Tokyo area, but then there's this change of environment and scenery and pace. So it was very interesting to see that. It was great.
On November 8th, which is November 7th in the U.S., I'm going to be live streaming all day with Jennifer. You're on the West Coast, so you might be able to catch some of the later ones, but that's going to be a full... I think we're going to do 5 live streams in one day. Jennifer and I are taking the train up to Mito City to meet one of the weirdest yurikara and try natto. So, yeah, that should be a lot of fun. So we're gonna be doing more lives. I'm gonna be doing more live streams outside of Tokyo, but it's hard to pass up the city because so many changes are happening. I also want to document what's happening with the city before the 2020 Olympics too, because changing so fast.
Yeah. So, are you also gonna knock the Jennifer hashtag?
Probably. Probably. She loves that too. She's the feed Jennifer and the Jennifer hashtags. That makes her smile. Me, yeah, I'm okay with it, but she really likes it a lot more. Good. Do you have so what's your question, Jim?
Okay, so let's see. You mentioned in the last Patreon live stream that you tend to go to places where you can really delve into a good story. You tend to go to places where you can find a good story.
Right.
And your next place that you're going to go on off to for an extended amount of time, I think you mentioned, will be at Fukushima.
Right.
Visiting the onsen there.
Right.
So I'm wondering, what kind of story are you anticipating when you go to Fukushima and see the onsen there? So what kind of story are you expecting to find there?
Yeah. Well, geez, that's a great question. I'm starting this off in Iwaki because this is where I used to live. I used to live in Iwaki City in 1999, and I don't go back there that often, but I do know some people, and for me personally, I want to see how the city is doing because that's probably the closest city to the Fukushima reactor. It's outside of the zone, but they have also a beautiful onsen. So for me personally, I want to see how the city has changed, how get in touch with my friends again and see how they're doing. One of them owned a hotel in the area. That's a story I think that might be really good to tell. On the main channel, it's going to be mostly an onsen and ryokan story. I did one episode on it. What was it called? The Naked Truth, Bath Time in Japan, The Naked Truth, I think, about 3 years ago, that introduced Takaragawa Onsen, the one with the snow. That was a big episode. That was the only one that I've done on ryokan, and I've been getting a lot of requests from people to show ryokan. And when Fukushima Prefecture said that, they gave me it's not a big budget, but it's enough where I can go up there and rent a car and stay in the onsen, because there's no way I could afford this on my own. Even with Patreon, a ryokan stay is like $150 a night, plus the highway toll, the highway charges, and the rent a car and everything else. The trip would end up costing me like $5,000-$6,000 probably. So all of that cost I'm writing off, and then I'm giving those costs this time to the prefecture, which is going to pay off those costs, which is really great. So I want to do a good job. I also want to really help that prefecture out a lot, because we all know what Fukushima is. For most people, it just means radiation. That's the reality. And I want to tell a story that Fukushima, there's a lot more. It's more than what we think, because I used to live there. I know there's more. There's a lot more. Before 2011 happened, there was Fukushima was where most of the vegetables, most of the produce to Tokyo came from. The peaches were famous. The sake is world famous. The vegetables, we get everything. Cabbages, onions, everything would come from Fukushima. It was like the bread basket, the vegetable basket of Tokyo. And now since 2011, the reputation has gone like this. No fault of the people. It all has to do with a stupid utility that didn't do safety checks, and the government for not making this clear. The angriest people are the people of Fukushima, who didn't do anything wrong. So the story is to show more of Fukushima than just this. There's a lot more, and this time I'm just doing the ryokan and making a course driving a car. So I don't know. The stories in Totori, I didn't really come up with them until I'd been there for a couple of days, and I came up with ideas. You don't know what the story is until you go there and start digging. And I think I'm going to find some really amazing stuff when I'm there. It's always the case. You ask questions, you talk to locals, you find stories. So that's sort of my approach with this.
Okay, that sounds great. It sounds excellent that you want to go there and help the people out a little bit, and show the world that there are other sides to Fukushima than just the side of the disaster that we keep hearing over and over again. So I mean, even when I think about it now, it's like heartbreaking, because I know how hard that all the troubles that they're going through. Even the governor, who's working really hard to build the reputation, is having a hard time of it too. And a lot of these companies are taking Fukushima's money. This is something no one's reporting on. They take Fukushima doesn't really know what to do with this money that they got from the government to promote themselves. And that also breaks my heart to see like big corporations are taking advantage of that and producing stuff that doesn't have any impact at all. And they charge exorbitant amounts of money for like no results. And I really hope that the videos that I make has an impact, because it's not that much money I asked for. I turned down a lot because I really wanted the story. I think this is going to be really good. 10 days, beautiful autumn weather up there. I just hope it's something that helps people. I'm looking at I got two cameras going here. I'm trying to look at Jim too, but I just hope that the videos that I make up there make some kind of a difference, And that'll be 2 or 3 episodes of the main channel, and then I don't know, as many live streams as I can do. I want to do as much as I can possibly do. Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds excellent, and I really look forward to your videos there.
Thanks for the support each time. I really appreciate seeing you pop up on the screen. I'm like, there's Jim. I had one. Yeah. There was one person who said, "Stop saying thanks, Jim," on all live streams. So every time Jim pop up, go, "Thanks, Jim," and then one of the comments said, "You got to stop doing that, John." I'm like, so. But I'll probably still keep saying it.
sounds good to me.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
All right, you're welcome, John. Take care.
All right. Thanks for calling.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. That's cool. I like getting a chance to see Jim and to see people who they chat in often with super chats, and like this is such a great opportunity to see them and you get to know people. Yeah, Jim's been calling in since I started the Skype question and answer stuff. So I'm really so appreciative when he calls in. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can take one more call. I'm gonna stay on for about a minute longer. We're at the 40-minute mark. It's a beautiful day here in Tokyo. It's gonna be hard to stay inside to edit. I'm sort of tempted to go. I really am tempted to go and see what the security's like. John, 2% left. Please answer when possible. I work for a bakery, and I would like to know if Japan has any sweets that are famous for. I did an episode on the meronpan. That was the second or third episode that I made. Check that one out. That was in 2013. Also, anpan is one of the big bakery items, as well as guys. I want to do a bakery episode, but I have to find something that's sort of extraordinary. Sandwiches. I might do one on Japan's most famous sandwich, which is very different from the rest of the world. So there's a lot of really good topics, Amanda. But now that I know that you're interested in this, I'm gonna see if I can cover it. At least do an Only in Japan Go stream at a bakery for you, okay? So if you see the bakery one, that's because you brought it up right now. Why edit when sun is shining? Amanda, because there's a lot of people waiting for the next episode. I feel that pressure. And when are you going to edit? I mean, gosh. There's so many meetings that I have. I have the driving test. I have the driving practice. I have meetings going out. Every time I go into the city and come back, it's like 3 hours out of the day is gone. Depending on how long I'm out there, I lose a lot of time. There's only 24 hours in the day. Edit whenever you can. That's sort of my rule. You got time? Edit. Got some free time? Edit. Okay, you want to sit back and watch TV? Forget it. Edit. Or watch TV and edit. And just because the editing is so heavy, there's no way to catch up. I could fall behind the editing really, really fast. And that's like, I think everyone who's waiting for the DVD knows, right? It's just, you can get behind in editing, and all I can do is just keep pushing forward and edit, and keep thinking stories. Right now I have so many projects going on. Sometimes it's really overwhelming to me. I'm gonna be crawling into Christmas, because when Christmas hits and I go back to the US, I still gotta edit because I know I'm not gonna catch up. But I'm still gonna be able to relax, and I'm gonna turn the brain off at the holidays this year. But yeah, that's why. I still might go outside a little bit. John, would you really like to see an episode on bakery items? Okay, Stephanie, Stephanie seconded that, so that's really good. Get her done, John. Edit in the sun. Yeah, I need to get a Mac laptop. If anyone wants to buy a brand new Dell computer that is hardly used because I don't use the Windows, let me know, because I'm happy to sell that Dell computer to you. I don't know how much it would cost. I think I spent about a little over $2,000 for it. I was using it for the hitchhiking trip, but I never really was able to edit on it. I need to get a Mac because I use the iPhone for some video, and the Windows does not process the video. It's so painful to edit on the Dell. So, yeah, and Linda's starting a YouTube channel. Linda, if you tell us when you're ready, tell us the link, and I'll share it on the Facebook and the Only in Japan page, or the Patreon page, to let everybody know. Definitely check out. I want to see if other people are doing YouTube and supporting, then I want to try to see what I can do to support. Sure. I think, Linda, keep trying to up your game. The question that you're asking on what you need to do to start a YouTube channel is really good. I think if you really care about your content and you really are trying to improve each day, even when you get to a level like where I am now, there's still so many things I could do to get even better. And it never stops. The challenge of making better content never stops. One thing that you can do if you're a YouTuber is to use the free music that's in your YouTube customized studio. There's in the panel where the analytics are, there's a list of stuff. One of them is a community. I don't know, but you can get free royalty-free music. Use it. I use it in all my episodes. It's free, and that really makes your work stand out. You can take a picture of nothing and just put music in it, and it makes the video come alive. That's how powerful music is. Of course, it's good to have the images, but the music and the story, it's all part of it. I just redid my thumbnails. I make my own music through John. Oh, cool. Yeah, if you make your own music too, that's good as well. It's hard to find the right music to fit the right theme as well, you know. Definitely will watch your channel, Linda. See, look, Linda, you get some fans already. That's awesome. All right, folks. I don't have anyone else calling on Skype. Amanda said that the signal is going in and out. I apologize for that. Right now I'm using my home Wi-Fi, which is not the best. But there you go. Yeah, I'm going to be doing... the next video on the main channel is going to be Totori Wagyu beef episode. Totori Wagyu won the Wagyu Olympics. I didn't even know there was a Wagyu Olympics. They told me about it. And they won the Wagyu Olympics. So they claimed to have the #1 beef in Japan. That's a big claim. So I went down there, and when I was there, that was one of the things that I tried to get an idea of how good Totori Wagyu is. And I had access to the cattle. They really, a lot of the people at the prefecture watched the show. So I was able to say, hey, I'm from Only in Japan. I'm John Daub. Can I come down and see your Wagyu? And they're like, okay. I was pretty surprised at that, because it's usually in the U.S., the cattle industry, they have surveillance, security cameras. They don't let anybody in. And the Totori prefecture's like, yeah, come on in. Come and see our Wagyu. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. This happened in Tajima when I could pet the Wagyu. But it happened again in Totori, and it was really cool to see that, yeah, it's probably not the best conditions, but it's a heck of a lot better than 99% of the beef industry. So, in that sense, I guess it's really good. I appreciate the suggestions, Amanda, on the mythology and the bakery. And these are really great. Was going to call, but my Skype is not working properly. Keeps signing itself out. Joanne, you know what? I have that same problem. It's hard. I don't know what's wrong with Skype. I might try to find a better way to do this, because, in fact, I might just give my phone number to supporters, like the normal phone number, so that people can just call, because Skype has its days. Skype won't even have ID numbers, so I keep forgetting the password and things like this. It's sort of annoying. But well, we'll catch up on the next one then. Definitely. Cool. So thanks so much for the questions. That wouldn't be a free call. Probably not, but you'd be able to get through. And there's a lot. Well, I don't know. If you're calling on an iPhone, it's free if you use FaceTime. So it would be a free call if you're calling on Apple to Apple using a Wi-Fi. Which is sort of cool. I can call my mom in the U.S. Yeah, if you have an Apple and I'm using an Apple, FaceTime is free if you're calling on Wi-Fi. Yeah, FaceTime audio or FaceTime video. And you know what? FaceTime audio sounds better than the phone. I don't know how they do it. It just sounds better. It's like Skype. When Skype first came out, I was like, wow, Skype sounds better than the phone. But now Skype doesn't sound that good. And the Apple has found a way to make it sound even better. Skype's not that bad, but just when Microsoft took it over, they ruined it. Yeah, Uncle Elias, it's the crows you hear in the background. There's a lot of crows in Tokyo. Yeah, that's what the support was telling me, and would redo my whole account to fix Skype. Yeah, you know, I have about $10 of Skype credit that I use, and I keep it just in case, but I'm not a fan of Skype. But it's useful, because everyone has it, because it's been around for a while. Yeah, the Microsoft war is on. Yeah, the Apple war is on too. I'm not really happy with Apple either. All right, everybody, I gotta run. It's time to get back to editing the videos. So thanks for watching this live stream for Patreon only supporters. I appreciate your support very much. It means a lot to me. If If you have any suggestions or you have any questions, you can leave it in Patreon underneath this video, and I'll get in there and try to answer all of the questions. I appreciate the support, and answering your questions is something that I can do that doesn't take me that much time. I really appreciate it. The Postcard Club, any other news? Postcard Club, there's about 12 more available, so if you're interested in that, you can do it. But anybody who gets $15 or more, despite being in the Postcard Club or not, you're going to get a postcard. Just, I see everybody at a certain level, just automatically I send a postcard, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Joanne, it's good to catch up as well. You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. I'm going to see if I can do another chat in Fukushima, okay, for Patreon, so then we can catch up while I'm doing the live streams, because I want to share that experience with you as well. When I'm on location, that's when things are pretty cool, because I can answer and show you around. That'd be pretty fun. All right, some of you got to go to bed. If you're in New York time, I know it's getting late. Thanks, everybody. See you in the next one. Leave any comments below.